What's up, Kingdom Builders? Today we've got an incredible guest, Saphire, joining us to talk about her brand new single, The Light, and the powerful story behind it. Trust me, this is one conversation you need to hear. Stay locked in. Kingdom Builder TV starts right now.
Hi, my name is Lachlan.
And my name's Brooklyn, and we're from Southland.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is John Wesley.
Hey, Josh Bissell here.
Hey, this is Jamie McDonald.
What's up? I'm Laverdier.
Hey, it's Leah.
And Brandon with Presence Music Band.
What's up, y'all? This is Seth Schleter, and you are tuned in to Kingdom Builder.
Let me be the one to say that it'll all be okay. I know you're gonna find your way somehow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Kingdom Builder TV. I'm Mike Laxton, and today we have a very special guest, an incredibly talented artist with a powerful story. You may have heard her name around the industry, especially with her upcoming single, The Light, releasing May 2nd through NRT Music. She's not only making waves musically, but also has an amazing journey outside of music we can't wait to dive into. Please welcome Saphire.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, absolutely. It's I've been seeing you around social media, been listening to some of what you've already put out, and I will say that I'm excited for you to share some of your story with the audience and really just get them to see what your heart is. And really just to start with that, to get our audience to know you better. Can you tell us a little bit about your backstory and how your music journey in music began?
Yeah, so what we're talking about today is kind of cool because it kind of all ties into my main story. And so how I got into the music side of things, I guess, is I had walked in a lot of bullying and depression and just a lot of mental health stuff. And so at the age of 13, I started speaking and singing at schools all across Minnesota. And that kind of led to some really big things. And songwriting has kind of always been my way of processing. Writing has always been a way of processing for me, whether I'm going through a hard time or something's happy. And so that's kind of how my music journey started. And it kind of took off from there.
And you mentioned, growing up and you had the bullying thing. It's just putting it out there. It's kind of, I didn't know that part of the story, but it's definitely God saying something because, this single releases on May 2nd and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm not sure if you knew that or not. So we have a lot of artists that we're working with that are really very much passionate about that topic. So just even you mentioned that and even knowing the song The Light, just to kind of going, leading into that a little bit, I can see where your heart is with that. And I'm just excited for you to really go into what that's about. But just to kind of take it back to the stuff you've already put out that we have there on Spotify, which I've listened to myself. If someone listens to you for the first time, how would you kind of describe your sound? If you could do it in a few words, and then what kind of art? Who've inspired you as an artist?
Oh man, okay. I would say that my sound is finally getting to where I want it to be. Mm-hmm. I have been super blessed. The Lord has given a lot of opportunities within just this year to be able to work with people in Nashville who are incredible, wonderful soul people and also believers and are just amazing, like I said. And so they've been really able to help me get the sound that I'm looking for and want and desiring. And so I feel like this next round of music that I will be releasing and talking about truly feels like my heart and soul. It feels like everything that I have wanted to talk about and everything that I've wanted it to sound like, it now is fully being laid out. So I'm really excited for that.
If this is just the start of your new journey of what's to come, again, super excited. To be honest, I consume a lot of music, and I'll be pretty honest with you, is that there's not a lot of music. There's a lot of music that emotionally impact me, but just what I've heard from the Light, I think it's going to touch a lot of people, and just, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it right now, to be quite honest. But let's get into that a little bit. It comes out on May 2nd here, being released through NRT Music. We love Kevin McNeese and the team over there. They're good friends of ours. What inspired the song? Kind of what message do you hope listeners are going to take away from it?
When we sat down to write The Light, it really was a letter to someone that was suicidal or that didn't want to be here. And so that's kind of the heart. That is the heart behind the song of, like, I know that it's hard. I've been there. I know that days are dark, and yet still there's a light. There's a God that knows who you are, that values you, that believes in you, and yeah. So that's kind of the heart behind it.
Definitely a very powerful song, and the lyrics, and I think that's one thing I encourage the listeners and the viewers out there is when you do get the chance to listen to the song, pay attention to the lyrics. Of course, with Christian music, lyrics are a huge part of it, but I think that's going to be, you know, whether maybe not by yourself, but someone like share that song with them. I think it's that important for people to realize that there is somebody out there that is going to care for them no matter what the situation is. And I think that's a great opportunity for not only just to share the gospel, but just to really just be there for someone who's having those times. And again, you're speaking from experience, so that really just it has that connection with the listener. Can you take us a little bit behind the scenes of writing and recording the track, kind of what that creative process was like?
Yeah. So whenever I go down to Nashville to write, there's an artist in the room, and then there's usually a top line and a producer or engineer in there. And my friend Tyler, who helped me write this song, and also my friend Rachel. But Tyler, before I had even gotten there that day, he's like, I just have this idea. I'm going to present it to you. I think it just feels like it's for you. And so when we sat down to write it, I basically just got in the mindset of being in the place where I have been multiple times in my life, of just feeling hopeless and sad, and like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and try to kind of just express that in a raw way. I think my heart for sure with this entire journey is that I want to be an artist that talks about the hard stuff. I don't want to be an artist that always is like, oh, all the things are bad, but the Lord. I want an artist that really talks about the deep and heavy stuff, and also that God gives us permission to be in those spaces. He gives us permission to be sad and be in dark places, and he meets us there. He doesn't just leave us there. He meets us there in those places.
And definitely, I can see that and feel that. And looking at the chorus and having listened, because I know you shared a sample of that on your social media. The chorus goes, "For as long as your heart is beating, and if there's still stars up in the sky, with every breath that you breathe in, the miracle of life is written in your eyes. Hold on to the light." And again, getting goosebumps again. I'm when it comes to that chorus, can you kind of unwrap that a little bit? I mean, I know you've kind of touched based on it a little bit, but was there a specific, I mean, anything really like that you can nail down specifically that particular chorus has for people, as far as, those who are having struggles?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the parts of my story that I haven't shared yet is that we foster and have adopted 2 kids and are on our way to adopting another this summer. And so while I was in that room, Tyler had just looked at me and he said, "What would you say to your kids? What would you say to your kids who were feeling the way that you felt?" And they needed to hear a voice and hear someone tell them that it was going to be okay. And so I get emotional thinking about it, because man, I care and love my kids so much. And so that chorus in general means so much to me. And my kids are so strong. They have walked in some horrific things. And so they're my inspiration for sure, going forward, just day by day. But so yeah, the chorus part in general just makes me super emotional, because that's what I think about every time that I sing it and hear it. I just think, man, if I could look into my kids' eyes every single day and just sing these lyrics over them, that's what I want to do. And that's what I hope that the listener will get from it too, is just that there is someone out there that cares about you, and that truly just loves you for who you are. And although it's dark, there is light.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm a family man myself. As I mentioned offline, I have a 17-year-old boy and a 12-year-old daughter, and of course, and my wife, and they're the world to me. It's just like whatever I can do, bend backwards for them, and I think that's a huge. That's amazing that you foster and you adopted, because that's one of the most selfless acts I can think of, just being able to go out of your way and take care of these kids who may not have had come from situations that, I guess you mentioned, that have that. So just the fact that you're doing it, and then congratulations on the other one. That's amazing to hear, and I love that story. Just to, I know it's a lot of work, I'm sure, but it's just, it definitely shows your heart, and thank you for being able to show that to people who really, who are really needing a good, strong Christian family household that's really going to teach them the way to live, and that it's almost like, I mean, it's God with us. He's adopted us into his family, and we are, we are saved by the things that he's done, by sacrificing his son on the cross for us, and that grace he's given us. So, it's very much, you're putting sacrifices out there to really take care of them. And I can definitely feel it in the song. As I mentioned, you mentioned the emotional part of the chorus. I'm like, yeah, I can see that, because it really got me going a little bit too. It's definitely, very excited about it. And here at Kingdom Builder TV, we're about shining the light on artists who use the platform to share faith and hope, which this definitely does that. How does your faith shape your other music and career choices that you have, just from what you've had so far?
Yeah. So I wasn't in the Christian world per se prior to this. I was always a believer and have always had the Lord a part of my life. When I was doing my speaking and singing stuff, I still talked about my faith too, and it was the main thing. And I wasn't technically in the Christian industry, but also still sang about it. And so I think it looks a lot different now, because I'm able to express things more and more in depth. And I guess it shapes everything. I don't know how to answer that question, because every single thing is filtered through my relationship with God and what he's asking of me and desiring of me. And no matter if I want something or not, I have to be willing to surrender and lay it down. Ultimately, it's about him, and it has nothing to do with how many people listen to the music or how many people are watching. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that the Lord has truly called me to release music that speaks about something. And so my job as an artist is really to just listen to him, and whatever he tells me, that's where I will go.
Absolutely. And honestly, this world, that's what the world needs right now. They need to hear that hope, that truth, that love, that there's, again, there's always going to be somebody there for them. And kind of going back to the song, The Light, if the light could change one thing in someone's heart or life, what would you want that to be? I know that's a pretty deep question, but what would be ideal? What for you would give you that comfort that, hey, this song is doing what it should be doing?
I know when I was younger, whenever I would show up at a school or a speaking event, before I would go on, I would always pray, and I would just tell the Lord, like, I know that it's worth it, even if I just touch one person's heart, even if it took all of the time in the world to get here and it took a lot out of me, it'll be worth it, just for the fact that I was there and one person felt that it helped them. So I guess I still feel the same exact way today, that even if one person hears it and they feel like they can make it through their day, and they feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that there's someone that cares about them and loves them so much, and that would die for them. I mean, Jesus died for us, and we don't deserve that. We don't have to earn it. We don't have to prove it to anyone. He just does it because he loves us that much. He loves us that unconditionally. And so I think just that in general, that would be the message that I would want people to know, is that no matter what you're walking in, there is a God that loves you for who you are. He loves your heart. He loves you for just being you, and he hasn't left you alone. He'll sit with you in your darkest moments. And even if the whole world has left, he hasn't.
Yeah, all we have to do is ask. It's like all we have to do is talk to him, and just believe that, hey, this is what he's done, and he'll be there for us. So as an artist, of course, you spend time writing music, you spend time performing it, you spend time recording it. But outside of music, I saw this on one of your, I think you're on Instagram a week or so ago. You actually have a lot on your plate. I know you, of course, you foster and you adopt as well. Can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about those other roles that you do and how you kind of juggle those while pursuing your passion for music?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So yes, I'm a foster parent, adoptive mom. We also flip houses. My husband and I, we've been doing that for quite a few years. The house that we're in now has been the longest that we've lived in a home for, I don't know, like the last 11 years. um, so that's kind of crazy. We usually find a really terrible looking house and flip it and live in it for a couple of years and then move on to the next one. I'm a doula, so I am there for people, women and families that are wanting to either conceive a child or have already conceived a child and they're ready to birth their baby. I'm there to help support and guide mentally, emotionally, physically through labor and delivery process. And so, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but it's so.
You definitely have a heart for children, obviously, because that's you can kind
Yeah.
of see that with being the doula as well as again what you are, I think that's maybe another reason why I wanted to have a conversation with you because again, my heart is within youth ministry, so it's a different form of it as far as what in that regard, but it's still reaching out to that generation that hey, we raise them up in the right way, we raise them up, or reach even the parents of the families that you attach that way, it's going to trickle down to the kids, and that's at the end of the day, we need to raise up our children in the ways of the Lord. That way, they can do the same for generations and really keep that going. So gonna have a little bit of fun, if that's okay, as far as where we're going with this conversation. So, if you could collaborate with any artist, Christian or mainstream, who would it be and why?
Oh no, there's some. Okay, I think I would have to say Corey Asbury.
Mm,
I love him because
mhm,
he speaks truth even when it hurts, even
mm,
when no one is okay with it, even when no one agrees, and he offends people. He's totally okay with
mhm.
offending and just speaking truth. And so I truly love that about him. I started really diving deep and just following him and just kind of seeing like how he went about things at the beginning of the year, a year and a half ago when I first started back up with my music stuff, because I had actually not done it for 7 years. Um,
Mm.
so this year and a half has been really another jump start back into the industry. I feel like the Lord has opened the door again, which I'm super grateful for. But yeah, I would definitely say Corey Asbury just for the fact that he's bold, he speaks truth, and I love that.
And I will say, "Reckless Love wrecks me every time."
Yeah.
So, it's in the title. So speaking of songs, if there's one song not your own that you wish you had written, what would it be?
Ooh. Ah, I don't know. I don't know. That's such a hard question.
I aimed a challenge.
Okay. I love Taya. I love all of her like new music. So probably Mercy. I love her song Mercy. It's so beautiful. I love how it's like super mellow and really intimate at first, and then it
Mhm.
builds and is super powerful.
All right, I like that. I mean, I've always loved her ever since she's with Hillsong. So I can see that, and her voice is just it's amazing. So definitely a good pick there. I like that. So if you're on a road trip and you play DJ, what's the first song you're putting on?
Well, my husband is actually a DJ. He
Oh.
life. So he owns a DJing business. So I don't really get to have the award like ever. But if I was able to, hmm, I don't know. I think my go-to right now has probably been like Brandon Lakes or
Mm.
Josiah Queen. Yeah.
Okay, all right, all right. I definitely can go with that as well. I love Brandon Lake. He's amazing live, of course, too, and just
Yeah.
love his passion, his heart, and just the energy he brings to all of his performances, and just his worship that he brings. It's amazing. So I know we've talked a lot about random things or not so random that about your life and things like that. If there's another random fact out there that most people don't know, what would it be?
I definitely have a heart for business,
Mm,
and I not only love starting businesses, but I love helping other people start businesses. And I guess there's this like Gallup strengths thing, maybe you have to,
Yep.
my
Strength finders.
yeah, top one was developer. And I just so heard and so seen, because that is definitely, that's who I am. I see people's, I don't know, gifts, and I want to just help them develop and grow, and I want to see them thrive. So I guess that's maybe one thing.
That's kind of funny you mentioned that, because I definitely did that for a work thing before, and really it's pretty telling. It's like, it actually it helps kind of see where your strengths are for sure. So with the single "The Light" coming out, getting a lot of people excited for what's to come. What can we expect from Saphire? What's next? Is there going to be an EP, more singles, something you can talk about like that? Maybe performances and maybe making some stops on the road. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I definitely have quite a few events here in Minnesota this summer, which I'm excited about. I have been doing a lot of traveling just with, I don't know, different small towns around here. And then also lots of trips to Nashville. So you can assume that I will be going there frequently. I lived down there for a couple of years and then moved. And I definitely know that the Lord wants me to be here, but it's all fun going back to Nashville and being able to write and be surrounded by creative people. And then also lots more music coming. You can definitely bank on that. And this year just truly feels special. I just really feel in general that this year is going to be really special. And I can't wait. I can't wait to show people the music that I have been pouring my heart into and just being real about. I can't wait for people to truly see my heart behind my work, I guess.
Well, definitely, when you have something more coming out, we might maybe have to talk again just to kind of get a deeper dive into whatever music you have in the future, and really get to have you on the Kingdom Builder, because it's been a pleasure just hearing your story and your heart and really just digging into that. So for those who are kind of wanting to learn more about the music and just about your story, where can people follow you and stay updated on all things Saphire?
You can look at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on all the socials. And then also I do have a blog. So if you ever want to read something that is more in depth that I wouldn't be able to post to Instagram or Facebook, because I do writing long posts, you can head over to my website.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I like to write a lot too, and sometimes trying to condense that into a social media post is very, very difficult. So, having might just have to do a blog for myself just to write my thoughts down, because so much that's coming out of this mind of mine. But again, Saphire, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's been an awesome conversation, and your heart, and of course the music that you have coming out here. And for those watching, please make sure you mark your calendars. The Light drops on May 2nd through NRT Music. I'm sure you're going to be able to find it on Spotify, Apple Music, all your streaming platforms. Of course, follow her on all the social medias and stay connected to support her journey. All of those details will be in the description of this video as well. But again, thank you so much, Saphire, for joining us on Kingdom Builder TV. We do appreciate you taking your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such an honor.
If this conversation inspired you, make sure you hit that like button, drop us a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to Kingdom Builder TV. Plus, ring that bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, this is Mike Laxton, reminding you to keep building the kingdom and to put Christ first in your lives, and everything else will fall into place.